then we will have the panel with two guests. First one is Miku Hirano of Cinnamon.
Nice meeting you.
And the other person is Akira Fukabori over there. So let me just talk a little bit about what you do.
Oh, sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And actually, I just realized that this event is in English now, so I'm really surprised. By the way, I'm Miku Hirano, the founder and CEO of Cinnamon, and we are an AI company. And AI has like so many definitions, but we do AI to support office workers because most of the Japanese people are, wasting so much time for working, and we do not enjoy our private life to enjoy our hobbies or to spend time with families or friends. So I want to change that. So that is the reason that I started this company, Cinnamon. So currently we are over 200 people. And Tokyo is our headquarters, and having AI labs in Vietnam and Taiwan, and a sales branch in the US, also in Texas. And yeah, we provide AI to especially inefficient industries like banks or insurance companies or manufacturers, those kind of like old traditional industries.
So I launched a program called AI Avatar. So Avatar is not like the blue animal, which probably also you imagine. It's not James Cameron's Avatar. It's a next generation mobility. So you place a robot and you access via internet through a PC or mobile phone. And you can walk around and you can touch and you can grab up with people and you can do anything. So it's kind of new body which anybody can actually use. So that's kind of the program, and I would like to share more about later on. And I launched this program from volunteer activities when I was in marketing in AA. And this is kind of my third program, which launched from volunteer activities. And next April, AA decided to create a new company of this avatar, and I'm going to lead that program. So, yeah.
How many of you know what avatar is? Okay, more or less, right? Let's find out whether that whatever you have in mind is what he is trying to develop.
Yeah, it's not a blue animal, but James Cameron is. I have a really strong relationship with James Cameron because the whole concept of this avatar. I was competing in a big business competition, which was held in 2016 in Los Angeles, and the owner of this competition was called X Prize, and X Prize is X Prize family is James Cameron is one of the board member of X Prize, so there is strong connection between that blue animal and this avatar. So. We showed this the avatar concept. It's a new social infrastructure, and we did this release last November, I think, at the CTEC event. So these are the avatar is really a next generation mobility. You can access via your smartphone or PC or gloves, and you can interact with people, and you can go anywhere, even in space or underwater, or if you're a medical doctor, you can actually help people. So it's kind of we had internet, we had smartphones, and now we have these avatars. So you can go anywhere, and you can interact with people. If you're sick, like Bukan, if you have avatars in Bukan, if you're a medical doctor, you can immediately access to Bukan's avatars and you can help people. So yeah, so it's kind of strange. Like I'm a airline, I work for ANA, but what the idea that I present was the idea to not use airline and use avatars, because you don't need airport, you don't need to actually buy expensive tickets. You can just press the button and go anywhere. So that's the concept. And the vision is really simple. By 2050, we're going to raise like we're going to endless limitations. So even your body or the travel lengths. So that's the whole concept. And yeah, like there's a lot of avatars that we're working on, advanced and the simple ones. But yeah, you can go anywhere.
今日は皆さんにアバターの使い方についてお知らせしたいと思います。
We are creating a robot, but our main job is to actually do a research about our human. What is human? What is how we create relationship? What we need for the trust and that kind of thing. So we do create robots, but I don't actually care about making robots. There's a lot of people who can make better robots, but yeah, the important thing is ANA is going to create these avatar platforms. It's really important because we are a service company, right? We really care how people feel and the trust. So these avatars, small children and elderly can use. So usually robot is for like scientists and for like boys, but it's not. Anyone can use it. So yeah, it's really fun. Actually, I can access one of the avatars in my office, but yeah, I will maybe try to do that. So yeah. So that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. You have a somewhat some kind of idea of what they're trying to do. And let me. Why don't you sit over here and we'll do a little more discussion. Akira was one of the first participants of the Global Agenda Seminar Series, which I started in 2010 at Academy Hills. And he came up with the idea of Blue Wind. And that was the providing the airline service to the social entrepreneurs. And that was the first project that he worked on. And I thought it was a very interesting idea because you can just kill two birds with one stone. Social entrepreneurs fly all over the place, but it's very costly. So, but the airlines in ANA can use it as a branding strategy. And it didn't, he didn't quite convince the top management, so it took about 4 years for them to make it happen. But after that, he and Kevin have been working on this thing and other things, and they now are on the avatar. And I think avatar, when I heard about this concept, the interesting thing is that airlines, you assume that you're going to fly airplanes. That's how they make money. But if you think about why do we need airlines, we need to transport people or things to distant places. So if we can do it any other way, that's even better. And I think that's how the avatar concept came in. And as he mentioned, I thought the ANA, the fact that ANA is supporting is tremendous because it's essentially disrupting the airline industry. So disruption, we often hear about that, but it's quite rare for the incumbent to come up with the disruptive ideas. So I think that's where they are, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But let me introduce Miku Hirano and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so we are an AI company. So I'm the founder and CEO of Cinnamon, and we are an AI company. And the reason that I started this company is that, actually there are two reasons. One is I wanted to do global challenge, and the other is actually our mission. So I feel this Japanese working style has so many problems, and you don't enjoy your life fully. Most of Japanese. So So I thought I got this idea from my first son because almost 3 years ago I had a delivery of my first son, and Actually, around that time in Japan, there were a big news about very young Japanese lady committed suicide because she needed to work too much. And I thought it shouldn't happen again, especially when our kids start to work, maybe like in 20 years or 25 years. So actually before that, personally, I made an effort to work efficiently, but it was just like for myself. But because of that, so having a kid and also reading the articles about the suicide, so it became a social mission. So that is how I started this company.
Okay. So as I mentioned, that they have 2 kids. And so it's quite a challenge to be a founder of the company and to continue growing the company at the same time having 2 kids, right? So I think it's really is a very aspirational goal, and I think that's very true for all the people who work in Japan. And because we often talk about work-life balance, but take a look. I mean, the commuting trains is just crazy because everybody is trying to get to the same place. Everybody wants to go to the office, and this is just ridiculous to me. So I think what they're doing is very good. So how does the AI work to make the work-life or the better work style?
I think the key is unstructured data. So before AI, so like you could use structured data, like data in database. So for example, numbers or address, the data of address or name data, you can use those data, right? But most of data are unstructured. Actually, 80% of all the data are unstructured, people say. And that is what AI can do. So for example, what you talk with your customers.
Right.
Or for example, PowerPoint files or PDF files or emails. Actually, most of data are unstructured. So it is still challenging. I mean, most of AI are still for structured data, but I believe unstructured data is the key for improving our work style balance.
I see. Okay. Tell us why you started your own company. I mean, compared with Akira, who works for the other big company, I think you started the company. Your first startup was when you were a student.
Yes, So I started my first company when I was 22. Yes, 22. And at that time, I was researching AI, and especially my academic area is complex network. And Google founders, there are 2 Google founders, right? And they used that complex network for PageRank algorithm. So I felt they're kind of close because there are only maybe 200 people in the same academic area. So I felt they're very close. But still, they made big thing, right? So before Google and after Google, the world got changed a lot. So before Google, to get information, you needed to go to a library. But now, like if you input the keywords on your computer, you can find so many things. So it changed a lot, right? So I felt it's kind of
we're
close.
in the same community.
So it might be kind of kanchigai, but
But I think it helps to have a little bit of kanchigai. Or it's just you think that you belong to the same group as the founders of Google is. And most of the people think that they don't, even though they may. And they just kind of hesitate. They said, well, I'm not that good, or I don't have a PhD or whatever, or I don't have resources and things like that. What pushed you to start?
Just curiosity.
I see.
So at that time I was just a student, so I didn't have any risk. So I guess most of people here earn money from a company, right? But at that time I didn't work at all, so
I see.
there were no risk. So I
You
just
started.
wanted to start.
Yeah. And what happened to the first startup?
At the beginning, we tried to do AI stuff, but at that time, no one has an interest in AI. And now there is an open innovation trend. So even for us, like a very small company, it's kind of easy to reach big corporate. But more than 10 years ago, it was almost impossible to reach a big corporate. So we couldn't make it as a business. So we gave up about it. And then we changed the business, and at that time it was a mobile phone darake
そうです。
jidai.
Yeah.
So we started to make a middleware of feature phones. And then that company was acquired by Mixi.
I see. And you were based in the outside of Japan, right?
Before, yes.
Yeah.
So I founded this company Cinnamon in 2012 in Singapore, and also having a subsidiary as a developing center in Vietnam. But in 2016 we moved our headquarters to Japan.
Why is that?
Two reasons. One is we changed our business to AI from mobile business, and the second one is most of our customers are Japanese companies, so
Oh, I see,
they
I see.
prefer to have a contract with a Japanese company.